Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to present the result of my research entitled a preliminary study on the barriers in listening sections of English proficiency test. And then in this section, I would like to have the students' perspectives. Okay, so why I conducted this study? It is because I want to find out the problems of all the barriers faced by Indonesian students, especially students in Universitas Muhammadiyah Gresik in taking English proficiency tests, especially in listening section. So the background of the study is I would like to explain a little bit about the existence of English language proficiency tests. So some examples of these tests are TOEFL, IELTS, TOEIC, and so on. And then every university, not every, but most universities applied this kind of test as one of the requirements for graduation. So the students cannot graduate before they take a language proficiency test. And then moreover, some universities also has English proficiency test as one of the requirements for admission. So if the students have a good English proficiency test, so they will come to the university easily. And so the English proficiency test becomes a standard of students to have a good ability in English. And then this kind of test is also used as one of the requirements of applying job, especially in good and big companies. So regarding to this, the famous of English language proficiency test, so I conducted a small scale interview on 40 students in Universitas Muhammadiyah Gresik, and then the result of the interview showed that listening is the most difficult section in English language proficiency test. And then for this university, the university applied TOEFL test or TOEFL-like test as the English language proficiency test. And then seeing the problems in listening, the method used in this study is a qualitative study. Okay, and then the instruments of the study is questionnaire and follow-up interview. So the students were given questionnaire, and then after they filled out the questionnaire, they were also given a follow-up interview, and then the participants are 40 students, and then the data is analyzed uh, descriptively, and then after analyzing the data, and here is the finding. So the finding showed that it has 7 problems in facing English proficiency tests for Indonesian students, especially students in Universitas Muhammadiyah Gresik. The first problem is unfamiliar topics or materials, because it is due to the materials that are related to the American history, because they use TOEFL test or TOEFL-like test, and then most of the context is American context. So it is very different from their context as Indonesian students. And then the second problem is audio length. So in this English proficiency test, it has 3 parts of the test: the first part, second part, and then the third part. And then all parts have different audio length. So most of the students have problem in the second and then the third part, because they thought that the duration of the audio is longer. And then the third one is lack of concentration, because the students spend too much on reading the options. So Then the next problem is low comprehension or the problem for the listener itself because their comprehension is in English is not really good. So of course they have problems in answering the English proficiency test. The next problem is unfamiliar vocabularies. There are many vocabularies that are not familiar because it is using American context, not Indonesian context. So it is different from the background of the students itself. And then the next one is the speed of the speech. So sometimes, because sometimes they cannot understand the speed of the speaker when the speaker talks fast. And also the last problem is the problem of the speaker itself because the speaker of the English proficiency test is native speaker. So the students have given accents or dialect to understand the American speakers. So from this problem, the suggestion for that comes up from this study is to create a newly designed materials for English proficiency test that has to do with the background of the students, like Indonesian context. So we can say that Universitas Muhammadiyah Gresik should create newly designed materials which involve materials from the background of the study, like for example if they learn industrial engineering or informatics engineering, so the materials should have to do with their backgrounds of the study, or at least the cultural context, like because they don't know American context, so the context should be in Indonesian context. Okay, so I think that's all for my presentation about the English barriers, the listener barriers in English proficiency test. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.